Okay, doke. Oop. I mean, I'm still very new to this, so again, there's always going to be some echo. There's always going to be very much like an amateur hour going on here. But guys, welcome back to another Logan Hall Grill stream. We've rebranded to the Watch Colony, or sorry, the Watch Community Grill stream. Uh, the Colony recently went through a sort of change in in sort of how we're named. Previously we were the Colony, kind of broke off from a certain individual, and now we're on our own. We're doing our own thing. A lot of the same guys, a lot of the same people, friends and whatnot. Um, but yeah, anyways, we're back. We are now known as the Watch Community, and so again, very happy to be with them and be doing these grill streams. So speaking of that, let me let me turn on my camera here and we'll get started. Let's see. That's my finger. Okay, so in here, I'll put this in a landscape. Does that go to landscape or not? There we go. There we go. Okay. So I'll just go ahead and go over the spread here real quick before I put this on the mount. Pounds worth of brisket that I smoked maybe like 6 weeks back or so. I mean, like this was post like the 4th of July. I vacuum sealed it and freeze it, and then essentially thawed it over 4 hours in a sous vide bath at 130 Fahrenheit. We're also going to be doing some corn. Not pictured are some potatoes that I'll have later on as well, but we're going to be making our own barbecue sauce as well, right? So, I mean, of course, I could always just use uh, Sweet Baby Ray's, of course, but um, we don't we don't do that here at this stream. Again, we're going to make our own, so that's why we have the ketchup here and so on and so forth. I also have the grill going here. Now, this is in sort of a smoker mode. And again, we have what's called the slow roller that's down there. And again, I'm not sure if you can really see it through the slats there, um, but there is a good sort of a good sort of roaring fire that's going underneath there. But the idea is actually let me just kind of explain, I guess, what sort of burnt ins are, right? Um, So you can do this with like chuck roast. You can do this with tri-tip, but again, the most common way is with brisket. So I have some brisket, cubes here, about like an inch and a half thick, maybe on sort of all sides here. And essentially, what we do is we literally just take some barbecue sauce. We take some brown sugar. We take some butter, and um, and then we just kind of smother it all up, and we kind of slow cook it on the grill or the smoker over a period of time. I'll probably do this for uh, maybe like 30 to 45 minutes. So again, since like the brisket is already cooked technically, again, all we're doing here is we're simply uh, you know taking a nice sauce and we're going to make it almost almost into like a candy, right? Um, so that's sort of the goal here. Um, of this cook today. So I'm going to put you guys on the mount, and give me 1 second here. This will probably flip back to portrait real quick, but I'm going to. All right. So I believe that's as high as it will go. But I think really that's really all we need, honestly. I think that's a pretty good view. Cool. All right. So I'm going to go. Actually, we need to plug in my phone because we don't want my phone to die. I didn't hear the little buzz there, so let's try the other way. It's just like the just like the USB, right? You think you got it in right the first time, but then you don't. Um, and I'm not getting any kind of buzz. I wonder if my cord's best. Um, let me back out and try to come back in real quick. Hold on. Okay. Um, it does look like it is. It, okay. Okay. So it is charging now. But let's back up just a little bit more so you guys get a view here. Um, but again, the first thing we want to do here is we actually want to get our water boiling here. It's like a bug actually got in there while I was getting set up. But um, so we do want to get this water boiling. It's going to probably take like 10 minutes to get the water boiling. And then what we're going to do, we're going to par cook the corn here, for about like 10 to 15 minutes or so. And then we're going to finish it on the grill later on. But let's first kind of clean up our water a little bit. And I'm going to lock this. And you know what I need? I need some fire. This is a little bit excessive, but it works. Did that ignite? I actually can't tell whether it did or not. Oh yeah, it did. It did. Cool. Cool. So we're gonna get that water boiling, and then we're gonna par cook these corns for a little bit. Um, and let's see, we're also gonna be using this for the potatoes later on. But I think the first thing we should probably go ahead and do is start making this sauce, right? Because we want to get these on as soon as possible. So I actually have a recipe inside, and I'm gonna go grab that real quick. So you guys just hang tight real quick. All right, so we're back. I have my recipe. Um, it's really not all that complicated, but it does involve some bourbon here. So I'm getting sort of like my whiskey reefer vibes on right now. I have Four Roses bourbon. I do have some more bourbon, but it's, I guess, like nicer, and I would rather use something that's not like super nice in this. But again, that's just me. Um, so actually, you know what? We will actually want to take this off. I just realized, and we're gonna make the sauce in here. We need to make sort of get this sauce down to like sort of a thick sort of thick sort of sort of a consistency. So actually, let me do this. I'm actually gonna take off the water real quick, um, and we'll just make the sauce first. So let's scoot this guy over. Yeah, and that's hot. I'm actually going to turn it down while we make it, and then I'll crank this back up later. I'm going to bring you guys closer to me, by the way. Um, did we have anybody join? Yes, we have Jen. Hey, welcome, Jen. Hey, Mathis. Thank you for joining. So let's get you guys in a good view here for the sauce. That'll work out fine for now. Um, anyway, so for the sauce, we're going to use a ketchup base, right? So I have 1 cup of ketchup here, right? So we're going to start with that. Again, if you're just joining, I don't make my own, or sorry, I mean, I don't use the pre-made barbecue sauces. Again, they're all great, right? But I prefer just to make my own here. So we're going to start with ketchup, and then we're essentially going to do 1/2 cup of bourbon. So I did have a 1/4 cup. Oh, here it is. Here it is. So again, we're using Four Roses. Shout out to the Whiskey Reaper. And we will do 2 of these. So that's 1/4 cup. That's 1/2 of it. Next up, we have 1/4 cup of tightly packed dark brown sugar. And by the way, guys, if the stream cuts out or something, just tell me in the chat, because I know that was an issue last time. So, so definitely just say something if the stream cuts out this time. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but who knows? So, in case I'm not visible on the screen, I'm just preparing the dark brown sugar. So we will actually use some dark brown sugar later on and just kind of drizzle it over these guys later on too. But I think that's pretty well packed. So there's our dark brown sugar that's going in. I mean, I really should have done that first and then the liquid, because there's a bit of a coating that kind of develops at the bottom of that. But anyway, we have dark brown sugar. Let's get some Worcestershire sauce. So that's what we have right here. I'm using the Lee and Perrins brand. Seems to be the most recognizable one out there for sure. I mean, but we're going to do 1 tablespoon of that. There we go. We'll do 1/2 tablespoon of honey. And like, I'm not even going to use the sort of measuring, there. I'm just going to eyeball it. And now the recipe calls for kosher salt, but I'm actually going to use this here. I mean, so anytime that you hear, barbecue and whatnot, they will often use sort of this brand for their salt. I mean, it's sort of a seasoned salt, right? So I mean, it's not just salt; it has some other stuff going on too. But anyway, we're going to use. Let's do 1/2 teaspoon of that. Sorry, 1/2 tablespoon. And 1/2 tablespoon of black pepper. I'm just going to grind that in. And again, just going to eyeball this until I feel like I have enough. Don't have to be exact here. Again, with baking, like you do have to be exact on that. But we'll make this a nice peppery sauce. Probably good right there. And a little bit of liquid smoke. So that's what the recipe calls for. Again, we will actually have sort of like the real smoke, right? But just to kind of, I guess, amp up that's where some spices here. We're going to use some onion powder, garlic Okay, guys, sorry about that. My I got kicked to the backstage again. So I know that this happened on the last stream too. I actually don't know why it's doing that. Uh, but just to give you a quick sort of rundown, I just made my own sauce here. So I'll just kind of run down sort of what was actually in this sauce. So it's I mean, it's very much like a ketchup based sauce. So we had 1 cup of ketchup. We also had some Worcestershire sauce. We had the Lawry's seasoning salt. We had garlic powder. We had honey, cayenne pepper, onion powder, paprika. Um, and I'm probably missing something here. Just sort of ground black pepper. Um, but anyway, again, I mean, I'm not sure if this was sort of on the stream before it cut out. But again, I could just use some Sweet Baby Ray's, but I'm just gonna make my own sauce here this time because that's what I do, guys. So we're gonna let this reduce for about 5 to 10 minutes or so. And something that people don't do enough: taste your sauce. Does it have too much of something? Does it have too little of something? This is when you know, adjust things and tweak things and whatnot, right? I think it's actually pretty sweet. Um, Hey folks, sorry, my phone overheated. You know, there's actually been two things that have kind of plagued me lately. One is for some reason I get kicked back into the backstage for some reason, and the only way to let myself back in is to go upstairs, go to my desktop, let myself back in, then come back downstairs. So I mean, I'm definitely getting a workout. Buckley, let me back into the group, man. You know, I definitely have a lot of stair climbing experience now, so that should be good enough, right? Um, but anyway, uh, probably what I'm going to do, guys, is just kind of like start over a little bit and uh, essentially show you what I've done so far. So let me let me get you guys first of all on the charger. Yep. And now what I'll do is here we go. Um, so what I'll do first is let's actually just kind of restart a little bit here. So all right, guys. So this is the fifth Logan Hall Girling stream on the Watch community. We've now rebranded over to the back to the community and not the colony anymore. I did have this stream going up for a little bit earlier on, but two things happened. One, I got kicked out of my own stream. I got sent back to the stage, the backstage, and then I also had my phone overheat as well. So I'm just going to kind of start over here. Um, I've actually made my own barbecue sauce here, so I'm actually going to turn that down just a hair. What I used was a combination of ketchup. We did 1 cup of ketchup, half a cup of Four Roses bourbon, a little bit of liquid smoke, some Worcestershire sauce, black pepper, freshly ground. So we also have some Lawry's seasoning salt, honey. Not this. Again, this is like the pre-made stuff. Like this is good, definitely, right? But I figured, you know, in the spirit of how I do my streams, I'm going to make everything myself. Paprika, we did garlic powder, a little bit of cayenne, and onion powder. Um, so, and just to give you a look under the hood here, um, this is what. So this is sort of like the smoking setup here. Again, so this is sort of in like a smoking sort of configuration. We're actually going to drop the temperature down just a little bit. Currently, we're sitting at like 400. That's actually going to be a little too much for what we're doing here today. So I'm going to close that bottom vent. And where did my, here's my gloves. Let's close up this one just a little bit here. And we can open up the top vent right about like that. Anyway, so that's what we've done so far. We're targeting more for like that 300-ish mark. So I'm actually just going to leave this open for a little bit here. And while we do that, we're going to tend back to our sauce here. In case you didn't catch the first part of the stream, we're also going to be doing some corn and also have some baby potatoes as well. But anyway, we're going to give the sauce maybe just another like 5 minutes or so, and then what we'll do is we'll kind of drizzle the sauce onto the brisket here. We'll add some butter, we'll add some brown sugar, and then we're going to pop it in here for maybe 30 to 45 minutes. So anyway, so I'm going to put you guys back on the mount here. And I think I'm going to put this a little bit more in the shade so that my phone doesn't melt again. We don't want to do that. All right. So this is almost to the consistency that I want here. Um, so I think here just a moment we're going to put this over the brisket. So again, in case you didn't catch the first part here, this is actually brisket that I made back closer in July. I froze it in like a vacuum sealer bag, and then I reheated it for about 4 hours in a sous vide bath at about 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Um, so what we'll do now, let's see. Yeah. So anyway, so this is pretty much. Sorry, I keep on hearing something in there, and I'm just making sure that nothing is actually like breaking or whatever. But anyway, what we'll do now, the sauce is actually looking pretty good now. So what we'll do is we're going to pour this over. You know what? Let me get a hot glove right here. It's sitting in the sun. So what we'll do now is we will, sorry guys, I'm still trying to figure out the camera angle here, but let's move this out of the way. All right, so we're going to pour this in. Okay. We have some butter here. We'll also pour that in. And we also have some brown sugar. Now, let me actually take you guys off the mount real quick. Let's take you off the camera here. So here's what I did. I just poured that over, put in a bit of butter, and we're also going to sprinkle this with a bit more of that dark brown sugar. So the end product is going to be kind of like a candy brisket, basically. What I'll do is I'm actually going to mix this up. Again, this is not a healthy dish, guys. This is definitely something that you have more as a treat. So when you want sweetness and fatness, then this is what you go for, right? But again, everything's pretty well coated there. Again, this is about a pound's worth of some leftover brisket that I made not too long back. So what I'll do now is I'm gonna position you guys about right here. Okay. And we will put this in here for about 45 minutes or so. So until all the barbecue sauce and the glaze essentially sort of clings to the actual brisket pieces and essentially makes it almost like a candy, right? So what we'll do now is we'll actually go back to the little side grill right here, and we're going to put the water back on, and we're going to get this up to a boil. Let me position this roughly about there. So let's crank this up. And again, this will probably take 5 to 10 minutes to come up to a boil, but we'll then essentially do a parboil on these corns, or sort of ears of corns, I should say. All right, so I'm actually going to sit down for this part. Let's see, did anybody? All right, so just bacon, weave, a bacon plate, then candy bacon. Yeah, no, that is definitely another really good idea, Evan. But again, Um, you know, when I do brisket, there's so much of it, left over. I ended up giving about half of it away to my neighbors. So I had two sets of neighbors, and both of them really enjoyed what I gave them last time. But essentially, there was you know about a pound of it left that I decided to chop up into cubes, and I essentially uh, decided to freeze it. Bring it back up to temperature with a sous vide, and here we are. So those are now cooking in the smoker, and what we'll do now is just again wait for the wait for the water to come up to a boil here. How are you guys enjoying your Saturday? Are you guys grilling too? Do you want to talk watches? Again, the options are endless, right? I mean, by the way, the whole reason that like I'm doing this, like all this stuff outside is Curly called me out for essentially doing a lot of my prep work for my wok dish that I did sort of earlier this week. He called me out for doing that indoors, and so I figured, well, you know what, we can't let that happen again. So we're outside now. So Curly, I hope you're happy. Um, anyway, so I'm gonna check the temperature of yeah. So that's sitting at about 400. I think that's fine. Um, I mean, again, ideally it would be a little bit lower, but I think that's going to be okay for our purposes here. Um, but again, I'm still enjoying the Tudor here. Again, I picked this up not too long ago. It was actually last Thursday that I picked this up. So I've had 1 week with it, and it's been excellent. Um, Again, sort of really enjoying this piece. Evan G, thinking about doing the grilled pizzas next week, and I'll probably make the dough at some point this week. Got to test that pizza oven. Yeah, absolutely. Evan, you've been talking about that uh, for quite some time now, man. So you got to put your sort of ambitions where your grill is, right? So again, looking forward to seeing that. Um, so let's see. Yeah. So we're still waiting for the water to come up to a boil. Again, we're only going to be parboiling these sort of corn, or sort of some like the ears of corn. A lot of the sort of like the flavor will actually come from the grill itself, and we're going to grill those up sort of as like a finishing touch there. But yeah, so we'll give the water a bit more time here. You know what? One thing that I didn't actually do is get some normal salt for the water. So I'll get some kosher salt, and I'll be right back. So I actually don't have a salt shaker in my house. I just have this big thing that I keep my salt in because oftentimes chefs are just kind of grabbed from a vessel of salt, right? Making. Um, so when I have guests over, they're always very confused. They're they're kind of like annoyed at me, like, hey, like why don't you just have a normal sort of salt shaker? But again, I mean, I don't have one. I have to keep all my kosher salt in. Um, so I think this water is kind of getting there. Again, I'm seeing some good wisps. But I think while we wait for the water, let's talk a little bit about football, right? So again, this is Saturday. We are now in football season. I'm a Tennessee Vols fan, and I think we're sitting at like 14 right now. We're going to be playing NC State tonight, sort of a prime time sort of evening game. So we have a really great quarterback Nico. Okay, so let me see if I can say his last name. Nico. There we go. So he's a really laser sharp. He did really great, like the first game against Chattanooga. So again, looking forward to seeing what he can do tonight. And let's see, Evan has another comment for us. I'm not looking forward to potentially having to redo the gasket. You get that sucker up to 700 per piece. I've heard that gasket starts to single at that point. Yeah. So it's like there's two gaskets on the Kamado Joe. So there's like a bottom one, and then there's one that is attached to the lid. Both of those are actually so the top gasket has completely come off. So that's sort of how it came when I sort of bought it off of a Facebook Marketplace. Now the bottom gasket is still there, but it's kind of sort of holding on by a thread. So I'm actually going to have those replaced here soon. I've ordered like this sort of big, strand is sort of like the 3M brand, like it sort of makes this gasket. So I'm going to probably replace those sometime here soon. But yeah. I mean, I'm sure that when you do sort of like a lot like a high temp grilling, I guess like the stock gasket may to really sort of take that. So yeah, I mean it's good that you're sort of thinking ahead like that. While we are sort of just waiting for the water to come to like a boil here, I'm going to clean up some of the other things that I guess I've already used and are just sort of sitting here. It's definitely a good habit to kind of clean up things sort of as you go, and sort of when you know that you're not going to use something anymore, why not just go ahead and sort of put it away, right? So again, a lot of these spices here, I'm not going to use these again for this cook, so I'm going to go ahead and take some of these inside. I might actually keep the Four Roses out just for a bit of a drink, but we're not going to use the honey anymore. We're done with the Worcestershire sauce. So I'm going to take a lot of this back in. I will keep my recipe out. That's good for timing. Toss that. And I think that's really all I can take in right now. So let's put this back. All right. So I figured while we wait here, we can actually do a little bit of a smoke. So I have some Ashen, little sort of baby cigars here. Um, and I'm also actually going to reposition myself just a little bit to get out of the sun. Not because I can't take the sun, but it's because of my phone. Again, if you were around earlier, um, you probably saw the black screen and you saw my screen go dark. So we don't want to do that again. Uh, but I figure I'll join you guys for a bit of a smoke. But just let me know if you guys smoke in the comments. You know, we'll have one of these. Definitely stay hydrated, guys. Push water. Pretty good. So hopefully I'm in the frame there. But again, I was repping my balls earlier. Um, we do have a good game tonight against against NC State. So that's going to be actually played at a neutral site in Charlotte. So Charlotte would be about a 5 or 6 hour drive for me. Maybe longer actually. Maybe like yeah, I mean at least 6, maybe 7. But I'm just gonna enjoy cooking tonight, and let's watch it from the comfort of my TV in my AC home, right? Um, but again, if you guys have some teams you want to rep, you know, tell me about them in the comments. Take a look at my let's make sure I haven't missed anything. Yeah. So this water's just about to come to a boil here, so we'll give that a few more minutes. You know what? I mean, I think I will actually have some of that bourbon. So I'm going to grab a little glass real quick, and I'll be right back. So this is more of a like a bourbon like tasting glass, or just like a whiskey sort of tasting glass. Again, maybe a little too fancy for this bourbon, but I mean it's what I like to use. Not too much. So we now have a boil on this. So let's go ahead and add some salt. And let's plop these puppies in. I'm going to adjust this again slightly so you can guys get a better look at the corn. Let's see. People recommend this guy sit ready for 1,000. Okay, good. Rutland won't let me paste. Yeah, yeah, Evan. So I mean, so I would have to make you a mod to do that. I don't know if I can do that from here. Can I put star comment user timeout then? Okay. So I think that may be only something that I can do from the desktop maybe. So but that's all right. Um, again, there's not a lot of sort of major sort of activity going on in the chat anyway with the sort of needs in mind. But again, um, you can just sort of paste that link in like via WhatsApp if you want. So again, because we put the cord in here, the water temperature kind of went down a little bit um, because it's now sort of more displaced, right? So it's going to come back up to temperature, and we'll start to see those kind of cook a little bit more. But I'll give those like, about for 10 minutes. Again, we want to get them like 80% of the way cooked, and then from there we're just going to finish it on the grill. I did mention that I also have some potatoes. Because I don't have two sort of burners out here, probably what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let those actually parboil as well inside. So I think I'll let you guys look at the corn for a little bit, and I'm going to go inside and bake, or not bake, but we can sort of parboil the sort of baby potatoes as well. So give me like 5 minutes. Okay, so maybe not quite 5 minutes, but I forgot about my cigar. All right, so now we're back to boiling status. So I figure let's give the burnt ends a look here. So this is actually maybe going a little too hot for my liking. I'm gonna leave this open for a little bit. I did probably put a little too much charcoal in, and that's probably why it's basically like baking right now. But I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put you guys on the stand here, and I'll give you a quick look. Sorry for the temporary vertigo, but so we'll let you guys take a look at that real quick. Hopefully this doesn't do like an overheating on the on the on the phone again, but You know what? Let me actually do it from this angle. That's a slightly different. I guess is going actually probably when the corn is done. Um, what I'll do is I'm actually going to have to deconstruct this a little bit. So right now this is sort of in like a smoke mode. So it has what's called the slow roller. The slow roller is kind of a unique tool for the Kamado Joe. And so it basically kind of traps a lot of the heat, but only allows the smoke to come out. Um, but again, I mean, a lot of the like the actual heat does sort of get through. But I also have some stones here right below this as well. And so the stones are sort of like the half moon sort of stones also kind of sort of act as a sort of a heat, sort of like a deflector as well. But again, this is going just maybe a little too hot for my liking. I'm actually going to kind of shift these around a little bit and essentially just make sure that no spots are getting like too cooked, I guess. Again, these are pretty much already cooked, right? This is just a matter of kind of making these more like, like a sweet treat, almost like a candy. So let's see what the temperature gauge says now. Yeah, so this is down to a much more reasonable, like, 200 to 250 now. So I think what we'll do, we'll actually keep that closed for a bit now. Let's go back to the corn can. And I'll go back to drinking the bourbon. I might actually be out of frame now, but that's all right. Let's see if my cigar's still going. No. Got a relight. So now I'll probably go back inside here in a moment to check on the potatoes. Um, I'll give that 2 or 3 more minutes. Then I'll check on those. But in the meantime, we'll just chill here. So guys, drop what you're drinking. If you are drinking today, then let me know what you're drinking. Um, and if you're smoking a cigar, let me know what you're smoking. Again, in case you guys are just now joining, uh, and I'm actually not even sure if this will show up, but I have the Ashtons here, and so these are just like, yeah, again, so these are just like the small ones. These are not like the big boys. Um, I will typically do a larger cigar um, when I have like 2 hours to kill or like an hour and a half to kill. Um, but again, I mean, I think this size is perfect for when you're outside and like you're cooking. Let's see if there's any more comments. No new comments as of now, but that's all right. We're about an hour in. Um, So again, thank you guys for sticking around and sticking with me through all the technical glitches there. I can't seem to get away from that. Unfortunately, that's going to plague me for maybe a little bit longer. But but again, what can you do, right? Making me, hey, Mathis, hey, welcome back, man. Mathis, just to sort of catch you up here. So I've got some corn going here. Again, this is just sort of doing like a parboil. Par again, so parboil is just sort of a fancy term for you're cooking it most of the way through, but you're not cooking it all the way through. What's going to happen is again, so this it's like these almost like these ears of corns or corn are going to be cooked, about like 80% of the way there, and then we're going to finish them on the grill. In case you didn't catch it a moment ago, I have these going here. So these are little cubes of brisket. I first actually made the brisket back like closer to like the 4th of July. So my company gives me like the whole week off. These are quality streams, and it's a real pleasure to see. Yeah, thank you, OC. Hey, I appreciate that, man. It's good to have you guys' support. But again, again for like the thumbnail of this video, I actually had the brisket that I made sort of back around so like the 4th of July. I ended up giving a lot of it, well, not a lot of it, like maybe like a half of it away to my neighbors, just because I can't cook I can't sort of eat sort of all that sort of on my own. Like over the course of like a few days, it's going to be hard for me to eat like 17 pounds worth of brisket. So I shared some with my neighbors, and I of course would have had some myself, but the rest that I couldn't eat, I essentially froze in a vacuum sealed bag. And we'll see now that you're here, you're actually you can actually hear this, but I did your sort of favorite method of cooking, the sous vide bath, for about 4 hours at 130, not 4 days, 4 hours, just to bring them back up to temperature. And again, you would typically make burnt ends like straight after you're done making. I just got to eat through the yeah. Well, I mean, I would definitely gain like 10 pounds of fat, like at least, and I need sort of, I mean, I basically need sort of, sort of no additional fat right now. That's for sure. I have not had corn for a while. We'll have some tomorrow. Yeah, there you go. There you go. It's definitely a good sort of side dish, like especially during like summer and sort of sort of like that fall time of year. So we're making that nice transition now into fall, and so anyway, I'm gonna go inside real quick and check on the potatoes, and then I will let you guys just kind of check out the corn for a little bit more, and I'll be back in just a moment. Guys, I'm back. I have some potatoes, and these are actually going to be finished on the grill too. So I think these have been going for about 10 minutes now. See if anybody came back. This is the simple time before the fame. Pretty soon we'll be watching this in Top Chef got the area. No, I mean, again, guys, very happy with sort of, I mean, sort of any support that you guys give me is greatly appreciated here. But we're now going to switch over to, so I'm going to switch over to a little bit more action here. So I'm going to put you guys back over here, and we're actually going to be doing some deconstruction a little bit of the setup. So again, these have been going for, about like 30 minutes or so now. What I'm going to do now is put on my gloves. Let's set these off to the side real quick and take this, put it down, take this, put it down. These are the deflector plates that I was talking about earlier. I'm going to put those down. This is the thing that holds them. Let me get a, let's do this. And let's see, I'm actually going to back this away because again, I mean, I am afraid that it's going to overheat the phone again real quick. So let's put you guys over here real quick. And take that off. Take that off. And you know what? We will actually have to take this. But you know what? Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and take this off too. All right. Now, let's drop this back in. All right. Hey guys, sorry about that. My my stream again, or StreamYard kicked me to like the backstage again. This seems to be a recurring issue, and I don't know why. But yeah, sometimes it's just like this. So what I really need is Mookie. I definitely need some kind of backstage guy to sort of help me out with that type of stuff. But let me turn off that, and then yeah, these guys can stay up there. So hopefully you guys can see that all right. I think that's okay. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to close this for a little bit. Let the temperature get back up. Let's sorry. Okay. So this is what's going to be coming next here. These are the potatoes. And so those will go on after the corn. Let's go back to the corn real quick. Let's just kind of use our hands, honestly. And I do actually need, let's get this back. All right. So these are getting nice chars. All right. So did you guys leave? Or did anybody leave because it went black again? Am I here alone? I'm trying to find a good angle for this, but it's not really one. This corn is just about there. I wish I had. Sorry, this is at an angle, so not perfectly level. But anyway, okay. Hey, thanks, Jen. Just watching the magic. Yeah, hey, the magic is just me, me sort of pushing a button to get me back into the stream. Again, like super annoying. It's kind of a shame that I get kicked out of my own stream, but like the big ups at StreamYard or YouTube. I think they got a problem with all this awesome cooking. So that's again, these corns are almost done here. I kind of wish I had some melted butter for this to go on top of these, but I actually sort of put the butter sort of away already. So I'm gonna find something. You know what? I can just put the corn right here. No, it's actually full of stuff. Let me go get a pan to put this corn on, and then we're gonna put the potatoes on after that. got my pan, and I did manage to get the butter back out. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna kind of lather these here. Oh, you know what? I need my glove back on. Safety first, kids. All right, so let's get some butter on these. Again, not the most, sort of, not the best way to do this, but appears to be working. We're getting some popcorn now. All right. So let's put these away. I need to get a better grip on that. So again, corn done. And now for our final trick here. We'll kind of finish this. Again, we'll kind of finish these potatoes on the grill as well. So while those cook, I'm actually going to bring. You know what? Again, we can sort of again to the point that Curly made. Sort of everything should be outside, and all that. I'm going to set this over here because this is probably sort of well and cooked by now. So I'm going to make some room over here. And actually, what I'm going to do, let's take this off. Put this to the side just for a moment. And drop this down. And give ourselves a little bit more room here to work with. There we go. Got that nice charcoal flavor going. So we'll give these guys just like a few minutes here again. I'm just looking for a little bit of char, a little bit of flavor. And then we're going to wrap the stream up, guys. Again, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Again, something that like I haven't done yet. Again, sorry for all the sort of technical difficulties, but again, we kind of made it through it. But anyway, we're gonna finish these off real quick. And tell me, guys, do you enjoy sort of what I've made so far? Are there any sort of requests or sort of things that you haven't seen me cook that you want me to go and try to cook? So again, just let me know in the comments. give the show a thumbs up if you enjoyed all this sort of despite the uh, the technical difficulties. Then again, sort of tell me that as well. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think sort of one thing I need to work on is just, I guess, like better sort of camera quality, better like backstream management. Again, I've never actually had anybody on the stream with me while I'm cooking. Well, I think that would be kind of fun actually. But again, for me to do that, like, I would really need some kind of a producer and sort of the backstage to, I guess, let them on and sort of let them talk and whatnot. Um, so so again, I will post a post a it's like a job posting on the Watch community job board. This will be an internship, sort of like an unpaid sort of internship. So sorry if you were looking for some money, but that is not in the grilling budget right now. Sort of all the money in the grilling budget goes towards all the meat and the charcoal costs. Again, those are sort of like my sort of a fixed costs, right? Um, but anyway, I think these are pretty much looking the way that I want them to look. So what I'll do is let's make a spot for these. You know what? Let me use this tool. But this is a really good tool, by the way. It's a great tool for picking up grates and whatnot. So let's put these guys over here. Again, I don't really have a lot of room to work with, but this is sort of the final spread here. So we got the grilled corn that was sort of par cooked in water or par boiled in water. We have this sort of, again, sort of it seems like the burnt ends of the brisket, and then we have some potatoes. So again, guys, hope you enjoyed this. And again, leave a thumbs up before you leave. And again, thank you for joining me on this Saturday. So I will see you guys again probably next weekend, for something else. So again, thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great rest of the weekend.